Assalamu alaikum students, and welcome to the new part of naturalism movement. And today we will discuss about the famous naturalist writers who contributed a lot in making this movement, in making this philosophy the most significant one, the important one. So for the writers of naturalism are concerned, first of all we will quote Stephen Crane, and his time period is from 1871 to 1900. He is an American writer, and he is very famous for his Civil War narratives. For example, The Red Badge of Courage, along with many other famous novels and stories, but internationally he is remembered for this particular novel. And we can say that Crane's major contribution to American literature is his examination of the nature of courage in the novel The Red Badge of Courage, the story of Henry Fleming, a young man who enlists to fight in the Civil War. The hero of this novel is Henry Fleming, who enlisted himself to fight in the Civil War. Through his experiences, Fleming ultimately discovers that he possesses courage, but that war is less glamorous and far more brutal than he imagined it would be. That the Civil War, was brutal, fatal, as compared to the ideas which Henry Fleming had in his mind. So with this narrative work, the writer Stephen Crane takes the characteristics of naturalism and applies them to a critical period in American history. That he got the ideas, characteristics of naturalism in his mind, and he wrote that particular work, The Red Badge of Courage, by the application of characteristics of naturalism. The result is a work that was immediately embraced by Americans at the time of publication and continued to be admired and taught into the 21st century. The work, which was of the 19th century and early 20th century, it got popularity till 21st century in America. Second important writer is Theodore Dreiser, and his time period is 1871 to 1945. He is also an American journalist and novelist, and he migrated from Indiana to Chicago, and he started living over there. His work, most famous and notable work, is Sister Carrie, and through this novel although the novel became famous afterwards, but at its initial point it faced a failure, and Dreiser afterwards finalized for Nobel Prize in 1930. So the Nobel Prize in 1930 was awarded to Theodore Dreiser, although at the first stage his novel was not at all much famous. His another work is An American Tragedy. Although his two works, American Tragedy and Sister Carrie, he tried to depict the dark side of the myth of American dream, and it was a recurring theme in his works. So students, here you need to understand what is American dream. First of all, American dream was defined by the writer and historian James Truslow Adams in his famous work Epic of America, which published in 1931. I'm repeating that James Adams' famous work Epic of America, which published in 1931, was based on the definition of American dream. So what was American dream? American dream is the dream of land in which life should be better, richer, and fuller for everyone, with opportunity for each according to ability or achievement. That American dream was based on the dream about a land which must be better, richer, and fuller for everyone, for providing opportunities to everyone, to make them stable, to make them better, to make them richer. In this way, the economy of the country would be stable, and afterwards, the country, America, will become the ideal country in the world. So, Dreisser's work, American Tragedy and Sister Carrie, was based on the dark side of the myth of the American dream, not on the positive side of the myth of American dream. And both these novels feature tragic characters who are the victims of their own desires, meaning when you are going to have something in your life and but you are unable to avail yourself of the opportunity which the life was giving to you, but you are not the fittest for that opportunity, as according to Darwin idea, that survival of the fittest, that you are unable to follow that particular idea. So the character or any person who was depicted by the writer, they became the victims of their own desires. In any discussion of naturalism, and American tragedy is generally held up as the best example, but Sister Carrie also illustrates the movement about the naturalist movement, or we can say that the main characteristics of the age. There are many other writers also who contributed, but they were not able to get fame as compared to the first two writers and then Emile Zola. So first writer, according to my point of view, that was a minor writer so far as this movement was concerned. He is Jack London, and his time period is from 1876 to 1916. He is also an American writer, and he was raised by his mother alone after they were deserted by his father. So his personal life was based on different problems. As a young man, he worked as a sailor, punctuated by periods of homelessness and joblessness. But afterwards, he somehow tried to become a person to write something about life. So his first novel did not get the popularity, but his second novel, The Call of the Wild, it was published and widely advertised in Macmillan in 1903. This was the main work of Jack London. I am repeating the name, The Call of the Wild, which published in 1903, and it propelling London to literary fame. London was dogged by claims of plagiarism. London is the name of the writer Jack London, right? Jack London was dogged by claims of plagiarism stemming from his use of newspaper articles as inspiration and resource for his stories. So for this reason, this novel, second novel, The Call of the Wild, was also not get the due popularity which London expected. Our next writer is Frank Norris, who is also American writer, and his time period is from 1870 to 1902. His full name is Benjamin Franklin Norris. Norris is one of the major writers who developed American naturalism, and critics regard his work as closest to the pure naturalism described by Zola, as Emile Zola said the characteristics of naturalism in his manifesto. His most notable works are McTeague, A Story of San Francisco, The Octopus, A Story of California, and The Pit, A Story of Chicago. Although McTeague, A Story of San Francisco, was written early in Norris' career, many scholars consider it his masterpiece. But The Octopus, A Story of California, and The Pit, A Story of Chicago, these second and third novels, are two volumes of an unfinished trilogy. In addition to these novels, we can say that Norris wrote numerous short stories that appeared in publications for a wide range of audiences. There was the main problem in that century that people needed audience. If audience was not there, if readers were not there, who could be able to read or appreciate the works? So the main problem with Norris was to find out the audiences. Next writer is Edith Wharton, and he is also an American writer, and his time period is her time period is from 1860 to 1937. She was an acclaimed designer. She was a writer, and she designed her famous home herself and the Mount in Lenox, and although her personal life was not at all good, and these aspects of her life had some impact on her writing. And during the World War I, she became involved in charitable works in France, and by aiding the displaced, the unemployed, and the ill people. She wanted to help all these people who were displaced, who were abandoned, who were unemployed, and who were ill. And in 1921, Wharton became the first woman to receive a Pulitzer Prize, which was awarded for her novel The Age of Innocence, which published in 1920. Wharton was a prolific author of over 70 books, including novels, poetry, and memoir. So, her personal life, apart from her personal life and her crises, her novels were based on good ideas about life, although some novels were based on the dark aspects of life. Our most famous writer, or the founder of this movement, is Emile Zola, whose time period is 1840 to 1902, and he was a French writer who wrote his manifesto, and this manifesto became the root cause or sound foundation for naturalism movement. His works on realism were also appreciated. Other writers influenced other writers, and they started writing naturalist writings under Zola's influence. And I have described his manifesto, Lee Roman Experimental, which meaning the experimental or experiential novel, in our previous slides. And this this manifesto was published in 1880. And Zola explains the role of the naturalist novelist to these is to subject believable characters to experimental conditions in order to find the truth. The main search of the writers was truth. The author, in sense, becomes an experimental scientist. Zola also claims that character is conditioned, determined by heredity and environment. That the character is conditioned and it is determined by heredity, by the traditions which have been set by the forefathers, and then the environment. Whatever sort of the environment around that writer is, the writer is going to have the influence on his personality or impact on his personality of that environment. And we can conclude that although Zola is credited as the father of naturalism, his views are often considered to represent the extremes of the style. That he was extremist so far as his style was concerned. Now, the slide is about main tenets of naturalism. What were the main tenets? First tenet was Emile Zola, who was French founder who presented manifestos for naturalism, manifesto for naturalism, which has the following characteristics. Number one, absolute determinism and materialism. Natural sciences as a methodological model. Darwinism and Claude Bernard's experimental medicine, meaning the role of science, technology, as well as medicine in the life of human beings. This was based on the idea on absolute determinism and materialism. Materialism, in a sense, that Karl Marx also had the greater impact on the minds of the writers of that age. Number three is pessimism, determinism, predetermined fate, and detached from the story with an overall objective tone are important traits of naturalism. Naturalist novels revolve around ill-educated or middle-class characters in an urban setting with surprising endings. And the last one is the point of view of the writers is omniscient third person, whereas authors tend to be frank and straightforward. So, pure naturalist environment is followed by Henrik Ibsen. Although bleak picture of the nature, we can quote the name of Hardy, as I told you earlier, and then Guy de Maupassant also. But pure naturalist environment is followed by Henrik Ibsen, so far as the British writers, so far as the writers of not only the America but other parts of the world were concerned. So, in this slide, you can recapitulate the Emile Zola's views on naturalism again, and these views you people have listened earlier with the help of discussion on naturalism.